What is going on, YouTube? So here we are today with a budget deck profile for ice barriers using basically the structure decks and some outside tech that I put in here. It's not really so much so outside tech too much in the main deck. It's mostly the extra deck that's the outside tech, just for a little bit more flexibility and variability. So let's get right on into it. So we're playing 3 copies of Revealer. Best monster in the deck, hands down, honestly. Discard a card, special summon an Ice Barrier Tuner from your deck. Really good for being able to set up for any of the synchro plays you need to make, which is just overall really, really nice. She can also banish herself from the graveyard as a cost for like being able to use, Necroz of Gungnir, Necroz of Brionax discard effect. So you do get that little bonus, which is nice because she'll pay the cost for you. We are playing, of course, 3 Speaker the Ice Barrier. This is a free combo extension. As long as you control another Ice Barrier monster, she can special summon herself. And she can banish herself from the graveyard to put a token on the field. That's level 1. So you'll be able to actually use that for synchros, which is nice. We are playing 2 General Wayne. So General Wayne, I'm only running him at 2 because you don't really want to see this guy in your opening hand, honestly, unless you're going second. Going first, he's absolutely terrible because you can't use him, but he can special summon himself while your opponent has a monster and you control an Ice Barrier monster. And when he is summoned, you do get to add an Ice Barrier spell or trap card, which is really good. And he also is a Macrocosmos for spell and trap cards that activate on your opponent's side of the field. So any normal spell that they activate out of their hand, anything that resolves on the field, they'll get banished instead, which is really nice. We are playing 2 Hexa, Spirit of the Ice Barrier. So this is generally the tuner you're going to always summon off of Revealer. This card can also send Ice Barrier tuners from the deck to the graveyard to change its level equal to that monster's level. So you can use him for your various synchro plays. I'm actually running 2 copies of Defender instead of, the typical standard one, because I'm playing this more of a purist build. I didn't go like the Super Dragoon combo heavy build because that's not budget. Yeah, so the Defender, though, I'm running 2 of these because I actually really do like making Gungnir pretty often, and also I am running another level 7 Synchro, and having only one level 3, I feel kind of makes that a little terrible, and it also gives us another Ice Barrier monster to open with for wins over the Ice Barrier to be able to get us a free play. And I am running 1 Cryomancer, the Ice Barrier, so 2 level 3 Ice Barrier tuners and 1 level 2. The level 3 actually allows us to make a second Trishula Zero off of Hexa, just off of a Revealer and a Speaker, or a Silent Angler. So we get to make multiple Trishula Zeros in the game, which is really nice. I am playing 2 Prior the Ice Barrier, so just normal summon this guy and then tribute him and special summon any Ice Barrier from your graveyard. Don't ever use the special summon effect because you'll get screwed and can't actually do what the deck wants to do. We are playing 2 copies of Silent Angler. This is just a free combo extension. Honestly, if you want to, you could actually run this at 3 if you want, and it'll honestly be fun. So that's kind of personal preference. I may up it to 3. I am playing, of course, 3 copies of Effect Veiler just for a hand trap effect negation. It's really solid. For our spells, playing 3 wins over the Ice Barrier. So this card lets you tribute an Ice Barrier monster on your side of the field to special summon Ice Barrier monsters from your deck, equal to the number of monsters you tributed, but different names. So if you tribute 2 Ice Barrier monsters, you get to summon 2. If you tribute 1, you get to just summon 1. But on another turn, while this card's in your graveyard, you can banish this, and then you can add any Ice Barrier monster that's banished or in your graveyard, and add it back to your hand, which allows you to recur Revealer off of like using it for the banish effect to get like free costs. So you do have that option. It's really solid. Or you could just recur her normally for her effect again. 3 Medallion of the Ice Barrier. This will search out any Ice Barrier monster. So basically running 6 copies of Revealer. And if you're talking about wins over the Ice Barrier, you technically could be running 9 copies of Revealer. We are playing 3 Freezing Chains. This is like the World Legacy Guard Dragon of the deck. Well, like this is the World Legacy Dragon Revival card, pretty much, but for ice barriers. It does have a protection effect for while you control 3 or more ice barrier monsters. Your ice barriers are the ice barriers you control are unaffected by the activated effects of your opponent's monster summon from the extra deck. So they can't get popped with like Dragoon, like they can't affect them with card effects, which is really good. We are playing 2 copies of Surface just to be able to recur and resummon the tuners. So this is overall a really good card for a combo extension in the deck to be able to recur your extra deck. For our traps, we are playing 3 Crackdown. Crackdown is super, super good. Just be able to flip this and take any monster pretty much your opponent controls. It does target as a cost, so you can't target Dragoon and take Dragoon. But anything you can actually target, you can literally take for this. You can interrupt so many combos with Crackdown and use them to your own advantage, which is nice. We are playing 3 Fiendish Chain for more monster effect negation. There's so much monster heavy effect setup in decks these days that I feel like honestly running 6 monster effect negations in the main deck I think is perfectly fine. And for the last trap, we are running 3 Solemn Warning just to negate summons. There's so many big link monsters, there's so many big monsters you need to worry about. And this card is really, really good going first. Your opponent can't Dragoon you because you can just warning the Red Eyes Fusion and negate it. So, you do have some really good stuff there overall. And I really enjoy playing this deck. So for the extra deck, we are playing 3 Trishula Zero. So this, honestly, hands down the best Ice Barrier monster. I mean, first off, look how gorgeous this dragon is. But when it's summoned, banish 3 cards that your opponent controls. So any 3. You can banish any 3 cards, and that is insanely broken. Also, when this is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can special summon a Trishula, the Dragon of the Ice Barrier, from the extra deck or graveyard. Its attack becomes 3,300. Then have the attack face of monsters your opponent currently controls and negate their effects. So this can get around Dragoon. All you have to do is just kill this, and this just annihilates. So if they don't negate this, and like you force the negate of a Dragoon, and then they kill this, you just absolutely go ham and just annihilate things. So we're running the 1 normal Trishula. This card needs to come off the ban list. We needed it 2 or 3. I mean, just summon it. Now, if you're going first, you summon normal Trish. If you're going second, summon Trishula Zero. But if you're going first, always summon normal Trish, because you can rip a card out of your opponent's hand with the normal Trish, even on turn 1. We are playing 1 Gungnir. Gets us Destruction for the discard cost, which you can use Revealer for to banish it from the graveyard for the cost instead of discarding. 1 Wind Pegasus at Ignister, just for the ability to spin from the we'll be able to banish it from the graveyard to spin a card back out of the deck. 1 Brionac, the Dragon of the Ice Barrier. This is to target spell or trap cards. Oh no, sorry, this returns cards in the field to the hand. 1 Delorean the Tiger King. This is just for a big beat stick. You can make this card pretty big. And a level 4 Synchro. I am running 1 Herald of the Arc Light. I actually really like this Synchro being in the deck, because you can use Hexa and the level 1 token that you can summon off of Speaker. So you can actually get that. We are playing some Exceeds. We are playing Excited Knight and Degusta Emerald for some rank 4s, just to be able to have some other versatility in the extra deck. And we are playing 4 Link monsters. We are playing the Charmer Link monster package, just for Crackdown to be able to use monsters our opponent controls. Well, sorry, not that they control, but to be able to use their monsters to our advantage in some way or another. But Iria, really, really good, because when she dies, she does get you a search from your deck, because you are playing a water-based deck. So Iria is by far the only one you actually need. These other 3 could be anything else. I mean, the extra deck, it's not a great extra deck, but it is what it is. But Iria, I do recommend having for the Crackdowns. But yeah, this is a really fun, casual deck, though. I would say that it can compete quite well if you know what you're playing against and you know how to counter it. It can actually compete against it. But I wouldn't say like bring this into a metagame matchup though, because it doesn't have ashes in it. It will have ash soon, but I don't know what I'll replace for the ashes for this particular build though. I really don't know what I'd replace for the ash. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.